2,000 years ago, long before Petra became a silent city of stone visited by tourists and archaeologists.
It was alive, vibrant, wealthy, and echoing with the sounds of human ambition.
What we see today as rose-colored ruins carved into cliffs was once one of the most sophisticated cities
of the ancient world, a place where desert met civilization and trade transformed stone into power.
Imagine approaching Petra not as a modern traveler walking through ruins, but as a merchant from Arabia or Rome.
Around the 1st century AD. After days or weeks crossing
known as the Sick. The air is cooler here. Towering sandstone walls rise hundreds of feet above you.
Their surfaces alive with reds, oranges, and purples that shift with the sunlight.
Water channels run neatly carved along the rock, carrying fresh water from distant springs, clear proof that this is no ordinary desert settlement.
As you move forward, the sounds of the city grow louder. You hear footsteps, voices in many languages.
The creak of camels, the clink of metal, and the call of traders advertising goods from distant lands.
Suddenly, the canyon opens, and before your eyes stands the Treasury, not as a ruin, but as a shining symbol of wealth and authority. Its facade is freshly carved, smooth and sharp, glowing in the sun. Statues stand intact. Colors painted onto the stone bring gods, kings, and myths to life.
This is not a tomb in your mind. It is a declaration. Petra is rich.
At its height, Petra was the capital of the Nabataean kingdom, a civilization that mastered the desert rather than feared it.
The Nabataeans were not nomads by chance, but engineers by intelligence. They understood water better than almost any ancient people. Beneath the city, hidden from view, ran an advanced system of dams, cisterns, clay pipes, and reservoirs
that collected rainwater and spring flow, protecting Petra from floods while storing enough water to support tens of thousands of people year-round.
2,000 years ago, Petra was green. Gardens filled with fruit trees, vines, and flowers surrounded homes and temples.
Pools reflected the sky. Fountains cooled the air. In a land where water meant survival, Petra had mastered abundance.
The city itself was vast and carefully planned. Beyond the famous monuments,
50 denarii for the finest silk from the east.
I will give you 30 and no more.
Fresh wine, finest vintage.
Spices from India, silk from China, incense from southern Arabia, gold from Africa.
Every trade route that mattered seemed to converge here. The Nabataean merchants were not warriors ruling by force.
Petra sat at the crossroads of the ancient world, linking Arabia, Egypt, Syria, and Rome. Control of trade brought immense wealth, and that wealth transformed the city into a cultural melting pot. Greek architecture blended with Arabian traditions,
and colonnaded streets. Local gods were worshipped beside foreign ones, and languages mixed in everyday speech.
The great temple complex stood tall, filled with activity. Priests performed rituals. Officials discussed trade agreements. Citizens gathered for festivals and ceremonies. The city's theater, capable of seating thousands,
Carved directly into the rock, centuries before Rome expanded its influence here.
At night, Petra did not fall silent.
Conversations drifted across terraces carved into the hillsides. From above, Petra would have looked like a constellation of lights glowing softly against the dark desert, protected by cliffs and guided by stars. Yet Petra's greatness was not eternal.
Even 2,000 years ago, change was already approaching.
Petra remained important, but control shifted. Trade routes slowly changed. Sea routes grew more efficient than land caravans.
Earthquakes damaged buildings and water systems. The lifelines that once fed Petra's wealth began to weaken. Gardens dried, markets emptied. What remained was the skeleton of greatness.
Today, when we walk through Petra's ruins, we see silence.
It was a city of color, water, trade, and intelligence. A desert capital that defied nature and rewrote what civilization could achieve in one of the harshest landscapes on Earth.
Petra was not merely carved from stone. It was carved from vision.
And for a moment in history, it stood as one of humanity's most extraordinary achievements, alive, powerful, and breathtaking.
In ways that the ruins can only begin to suggest.